Hey everybody, Adam Davidson, RadCast for Thursday, October 12th, 2023. Thanks for watching, thanks for commenting, thanks for sharing, thanks for subscribing on YouTube. If the internet sees that you care, the internet will bring this to more people. And it's amazing if it posts at this time versus that time, the algorithms and who sees it and all that stuff. I'm not doing it for hits. I'm not doing it for views. I do this because it's part of my routine. It holds me accountable. And I love the connection that I have with friends from the present and past both. So, and hopefully it's ministry as well. So anyway, thanks for watching RadCast. This is Luke chapter 10, verses 38 through 42. This is a familiar story to people who've been following Jesus for a while. However, there are a few things that we need to look at a little bit more closely. So listen to this story from the Word. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. By the way, it's interesting. Jesus has no home. Like he has no address when he's doing his ministry on earth. He's literally going from place to place, counting on the hospitality of people. Of course, people are hospitable. And it is strange to think of Jesus as counting on anything or relying on anything because he has it all. But you see, it's because he has it all that he is able to freely rely without anxiety on people providing for him. It all belongs to him. He loves the adventure of allowing us to be part of his provision. And so Jesus never worried about where he was going to sleep or what he was going to eat because the Father took care of it. Now we have the Spirit of Christ in us, and so we too don't worry. We just don't. He just goes from place to place. So Martha says, "Come on in." Jesus says, "Perfect. This will be great." Martha had a sister named Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. Anytime Jesus would go into a house, he would just start teaching for the most part. People were drawn to him and his lessons and his whole thing. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made because they wanted to eat and they had to keep the house clean. And so finally, she comes to him and she said, "Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me out. Come on." So I imagine that Martha was like, "Mary." Mary looks over from Jesus' feet and he's teaching about something, and Mary just keeps saying no. And so finally, because Mary won't listen to Martha, who's out in the kitchen doing stuff, Martha says to Jesus, "Hey, Jesus, she'll listen to you maybe. Why don't you tell her to come out and help me?" Because Martha's actually probably frustrated, not only that Mary is missing the social cue, but that Jesus is as well. That's why she says, "Jesus, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work?" Isn't it strange? We often wonder if Jesus cares too. Anytime we have doubt or concern about what's happening or what's not happening in our lives, we really wonder, does Jesus actually care? It's not whether or not he knows. We know he knows. The question is, does he care? Listen to his answer. "Martha, Martha," the Lord answered. And by saying her name twice, by the way, you know that he's shaking his head or maybe going like, "Martha, Martha." You don't get it. You don't get it. He said, "You are worried and upset about many things." Hold on. What he doesn't say is, "You're worried and upset about getting this dinner put together." He doesn't say that. He doesn't get specific. He doesn't say you're worried about dinner and keeping the house clean. He doesn't say that. He says you're worried and upset about many things. This tells us maybe that the life of Martha was governed, at least in large part, by the anxiety of Martha. And a lot of us would fall into that category. We're just overwhelmed, and so the thing that screams or squeaks the loudest gets our attention so we can calm that down and move on to the next thing. Adam, you are worried about so many things. Listen to what he says. He says, "Martha, you're so worried, but few things are needed, or indeed only one." Isn't our anxiety in part caused by just us being overwhelmed by things and options and stuff that has to get done? Jesus immediately narrows it down. He says there's one thing, indeed only one that matters. And Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken from her. And that, by the way, is the word of the Lord. You guys know what a life hack is, right? Life hack is any procedure or action, this is according to the internet, so it's got to be true, any procedure or action that solves a problem, simplifies a task, reduces frustration in one's everyday life. So you see life hacks like this, like don't eat a popsicle like a nincompoop. Eat a popsicle with a little thing under it to catch the drippings, and you won't have lime juice all over the house. Or if you're going to be traveling abroad, don't just plug your phone in and stand there and hold it like a fool. Of course, you can make the charging wire into this little cradle to hold the phone. And look at that connection, that outlet. Never seen anything. Is that Australia? What's going on there? Or here, are you a big fan of Pete Sampras and tennis? And look what you can do with tennis balls to make tennis a part of your everyday life, especially to receive your arrow mail. Now, these are life hacks. These are things that we do that make our lives easier. We go, oh, that's so much easier. Mary is teaching us a life hack. She's going, what if instead of freaking out about everything, we focused on the thing that was most important and in front of us at the time? Jesus said, few things are needed, or indeed only one, and Mary has chosen what is better, which is sitting at the Lord's feet, listening to what he said. You and I, same option. You already know where this whole thing goes. The question is, in the anxieties of the day, at what point on that chart, on that to-do list, on the things that drive you, the motivators, at what point is it like, I just got to sit at the feet of Jesus? And the more I have to do today, the more pressure's coming on me, the more on the list, the more important it is that I just spend time with him, because Jesus, his teaching, his way of thinking is a life hack in that it helps us to see the world with eternal eyes, keeps our anxieties under governance, and just sets us free. Just sets us free to enjoy the peace that passes understanding that guards our hearts and our minds in Christ Jesus. You know what to do, right? Just keep scrolling and move on. No, of course not. You know what to do. Take a minute right now with Jesus and talk to him. Sit at his feet, listen to him, and watch what happens. That's the best life hack, and that's RadCast.